When my sister died, I moved into her house. It wasn't a decision made with a clear head. She'd left the place to me in the will, and something about staying felt, right? Like I owed her that much. My therapist warned me not to isolate, but I told myself it would be temporary. Just a few months to get my bearings. The house sat on the edge of a sleepy Pennsylvania town. 2 stories, wraparound porch, overgrown backyard that used to be a garden. The neighbors didn't say much. Just awkward glances and 2 long pauses when they learned who I was. They remembered. Everyone remembered. Her obituary said accident, but we both knew better. The first week was quiet. I spent the days sorting her things and the nights watching old movies, pretending I wasn't avoiding sleep. The guest room stayed locked. That was where it happened, where they found her. I told myself I'd deal with it later. Then came the 3rd night. I was brushing my teeth when I heard footsteps upstairs. Heavy, deliberate, pacing from one end of the hall to the other. I froze, toothbrush halfway to my mouth, foam gathering on my lip. I lived alone. I grabbed the nearest thing I could find, a metal flashlight, and crept up the stairs. Each step groaned under my weight. The hallway was dark, except for a faint moonlight spilling through the guest room's transom window. The pacing stopped. I reached for the doorknob with a shaking hand. It was locked. Of course it was locked. But as I stood there, heart hammering, I saw something impossible. A shadow shifting just under the door. Like someone standing behind it, just inches away. Breathing. I backed away slowly. No one answered when I called the police. Not at first. Rural town, short staff, midnight. By the time an officer came the next morning, there was no sign of a break-in. Nothing stolen. The lock was untouched. Could have been a raccoon on the roof, he suggested, half smirking. I didn't argue, but I started locking my bedroom door at night. The dreams started soon after. Always the same. I'm standing in front of the guest room door. I open it slowly, painfully. Inside, there's a woman kneeling in the center of the room, long dark hair hiding her face. She's whispering something. Then she turns to look at me. I always wake up before I see her eyes. One night, unable to sleep, I poured myself a drink and sat by the living room window. From there, I could see into the backyard, lit faintly by the porch light. And I noticed something strange. The 2nd-story window of the guest room, the one that had always been covered by curtains, was wide open. Curtains flapping in the wind. Even stranger, I never opened that window. I didn't even have the key to that room. I stood there watching for what felt like an hour. Nothing moved. No shadows. No figures. But the next morning, when I went outside to check, I found footprints in the dew-covered grass. Bare footprints, leading from the back of the house to the guest room wall. That afternoon, I forced myself to unlock the door. I stood in front of it, key in hand, breath shaking. When I opened it, the first thing that hit me was the smell, like stale perfume and mildew. The room hadn't changed. Bed neatly made. Desk untouched. Closet closed. But the window was indeed open. I stepped inside, heart racing, half expecting something to grab me. Nothing did. But on the desk, I found a notebook. It was my sister's journal. I hadn't seen it before. Pages torn, others marked with frantic scribbles. One entry stood out, dated 2 weeks before her death. He watches from the window now. Not every night. Just when I'm weak. I think he wants me to come closer. I won't. But what if he gets in? I closed the journal with shaking hands. Was she hallucinating? Was this some late-onset schizophrenia? I remembered how withdrawn she'd become near the end, how paranoid. But what if she wasn't imagining things? What if someone had been watching her? That night, I dreamed again. This time, I made it to the woman's face. It wasn't my sister. It was me. My reflection, except wrong. Her skin was gray and wet-looking, her eyes glassy, her mouth stretched wide in a voiceless scream. I woke up gasping, drenched in sweat, and I heard footsteps. Not upstairs this time. Inside my room. Just outside the closet. I sat up, hand shaking as I reached for my phone. But the screen was black. Not dead. Just off. The bulb in the lamp flickered and died. I whispered my sister's name. Don't ask me why. Maybe I thought she'd protect me. Then the closet door creaked open. In the dark, I saw a shape step out, tall, thin, face shadowed. He moved slowly toward the bed, tilting his head like he was studying me. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then he said my name, my real name, not the name I go by now. And I remembered something. The accident wasn't her fault. It was mine. I don't remember what happened next. I woke up on the floor, closet door shut. No intruder, no sign of anything wrong. But now the house is different. It listens. When I cry in the shower, I hear someone crying with me behind the walls. When I pass mirrors, sometimes I'm not alone in the reflection. And every night, when I sit by the living room window, I see him, standing in the guest room, staring down at me through the glass. He waits patient, because the window is open now. And one night soon, I'm gonna let him in.